And here's the bottom line. Listen, you all are listeners of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast that is co-hosted by a blind guy, right? So I can't even see the doggone video, but I'm telling you to use video. Y'all should use video just for the simple fact that I can't see it, okay?
If we see like a dimly lit or you can't even see what's going on, like we're scrolling past, we're not watching it. So same exact philosophy.
You want people to almost have a deja vu experience when they visit your dealership. You want them to feel like they've already been there. What's happening, everybody? This is L.A. Williams, Vice President with Dealer Synergy, the blind master, whatever you want to call me. Also the co-creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And who do I have with me? I know y'all thought I was going to say SVB, but I don't. I got the one and only Miss Tianna Mick, a.k.a. T Got Your Keys, a.k.a. the queen of branding herself. So I am pumped up, fired up, super excited. How you feeling, T?
I am feeling amazing, and I love that we're going to be talking about some interesting things today that I think we've heard time and time again, right? But honestly,
Absolutely.
I think we can learn a little more about it.
100%. So what we're going to talk about is the topic that y'all think that a blind guy like me ain't supposed to talk about. But we're going to talk about it anyway, right? Because I got the queen. I told you I shoot the queen of branding. This girl is absolutely phenomenal. We're going to talk about the thing that every dealership talks about. They talk about wanting more leads, right? They talk about wanting more appointments, more customers. But a lot of folks are, let's just put it in the category of sitting on a gold mine that you're not using, right? And what is that? It's your phone and your face, right? Like video, right? Talk about it, T.
100%. LA, we have said it time and time again. I feel like people are going to be like, oh, another video, podcast. But how many of y'all have listened to the video podcast and not even started implementing it, right? In your everyday use, right? Everyday process. So that's why we are bringing it back. And especially now in 2026 with this AI game going on where you can literally make videos in seconds without even a real person. Yes. We need to be using it, right, LA?
Absolutely. So again, we're going to make it really, really simple, right? I think sometimes we give you the theory or we give you the hype, but we're going to literally talk about 7 or so, probably a little more because you know how we do, right? Specific videos that you should implement literally on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, right? We're going to give you the strategies. Tianna, listen, the girl sold 20 cars a month, but she was grossing selling 27 cars a month, right? So if y'all want to do something like that, this is the podcast that you want to listen to. Now, I got to have some folks that's going to come in here and give their word. I got some folks that sponsors that want to pay the bills and stuff like that. We appreciate them, right? But when we come back, we're going to give you a daily implementation checklist, right? Something that will literally transform your workflow in the next 24 hours. So listen, I promise y'all we will be right back, and don't go nowhere. Keep listening. It's the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast.
If you're looking for the absolute best automotive sales training from the #1 millionaire car salesman in the world, Cody Carter, who sold 1,408 units in 2023 and made $1.2 million in personal income, make sure you sign up for Cody's 24/7 video on-demand training, tracking, and testing certification program, Sell Like Cody. That's right, Sell Like Cody is on Bradley On Demand. Cody covers absolutely everything in his successful selling process. If you want to learn how to sell more cars, more often, and more profitably, enroll now at bradleyondemand.com or contact Dealer Synergy today.
Thank you for calling Doing It Wrong Motors. How can I help you?
I was looking at the tan 2023 GMC Terrain. You guys still have that?
Oh, sorry. That vehicle's been sold.
Could this be happening at your dealership? Get the Dealer Synergy team to handle calls the right way. We'll gather all the information, drop it in the CRM, set a solid appointment with notes, so all you have to do is sell. Do yourself a favor and go to dealersynergy.com for a free demo.
And no more of this burning through phone-ups nonsense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and ready to get started with this video conversation, right? So let's kind of make this thing, like I said, real simple, because before you can record a single video, you have to make sure you have the proper setup. And what do we mean by proper setup? Like, I'm sure it's, here's what I will say. The top two things for any video, tell me if I'm wrong, T, are there's something that comes before this, but because I'm the blind guy, I'm gonna say this: audio. You gotta have good audio, and I'm sure you gotta have good lighting, right? Because even for me, y'all be like, "LA, turn your lights on," right? So I want to talk about that, but I want you to talk about, not only the setup, meaning what they have to have, but what does every salesperson have to do every single morning before they start recording video?
You are absolutely 100% correct, LA, right? Like audio and visual, right? Those are like the two most vital pieces of video. So you got it down. But as you said, those are the most important, but doesn't mean those are the very first things that
Right.
you have to start with, right?
So let's start with lighting, because I know y'all really want to talk about lighting.
Exactly. Lighting, right? So making sure that you're in a proper lit environment, right? Making sure you're not in the dark corner of the dealership or, go outside. Like you have literally a multi-billion dollar like Hollywood studio set that you walk into every single day, right? So those big glass windows, right? Making sure you're in front. I know sometimes, like, especially maybe in the BDC, maybe in the service area, might be a little darker, maybe a little less lighting, right? So if you are listening and you're like, hey, I'm in the BDC, or hey, I'm in the internet department, and they kind of got us a little hidden, or get away from your desk, right? Get away from your desk, take the extra 30 seconds, walk in front of the windows. I mean, that alone is going to increase your engagement, just because even on social media, right? If we see like a dimly lit or you can't even see what's going on, like we're scrolling past, we're not watching it. So same exact philosophy.
I got you. That's a good one. And then there's another one that you actually taught me one day. I forget why I was shooting a video. I think somebody had done something for me and I wanted to do a thank you video. And so I said, "Oh, Tianna, can you shoot this video for me real quick?" And she's like, "LA, you look a little blurry. Oh, wait, let me clean off your camera lens." I'm like, what? I would have never thought of that. I mean, I'm just being real. Can you talk about the importance of cleaning the camera lens, T?
Oh my gosh. Sean Bradley, if you're listening, you've heard this from your daughter, me, right? Hundreds of times. Wipe your camera lens. Yeah, all the time, LA, right? I mean, it's so important that whoever has the newest iPhone, right? Like, I just got the new update. I have one of the newer iPhones. I went to take a picture and it literally said on the top, wipe your third camera lens. It
Wow.
tells you, because it knows that it's going to dim the quality of the photo and of the video. And hey, Apple don't want to be blamed, right? It's like, hey, this is a user error, right? You see those cool Galaxy commercials, Apple can do the same thing, but we don't set up our phone properly. So it is so important making sure you wipe the front and every single one of the lenses in the back, right? Whether you got 1, 2, or 3, right? With these new phones. Yes, making sure. And as I said, it's so important that even Apple, right, is letting people know now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty deep. Something else I think is pretty important is backgrounds, right? Because so many times people just got they got random backgrounds. And I'm not saying, and maybe I don't think you're saying this either, I'm not saying you can't switch it up, right? You can have some fun and do some different things, but I mean, for the majority of your messaging, how important is having a consistent on-brand background, T?
Oh, it's probably one of the most important things, right? I mean, imagine like watching a TV show and their house was like changed every single episode. You're like, what kind
Continuity
of
error.
house? Yeah, it's like, what is going on? Like, I thought they lived in a brown house. Now they live in like, like a red house. Like, what is going on? Same thing, right? You need to be consistent because your audience wants to feel familiar when they watch your content, right? So if you're constantly changing it, it's going to not feel familiar and authentic to them, right? And not only that, LA, like, especially with today's technology, TikTok, right? It actually analyzes your background. So like, let's say you got a car in the background, or let's say you just got the logo in the background. With AI, right? TikTok actually analyzes, oh, this has a car in the background. If somebody's interested in automotive, right? I'm going to make sure that they're going to engage with this better. So I'm going to put this in front of them. Like everything from the words we say, right? The captions we write, all the way up to what's in our video specifically, right? Is used to make sure that we get the right audience in front of it. So It's especially important, especially nowadays.
That's deeper than I think. I mean, the way you kind of just said it, and I don't know, maybe I'm just old or something like that, but that just blew my mind right there. You said that it can see your background and it kind of like categorizes it. So it's not just the hashtag, the 50 million hashtags that you put on it, right? It does the categorization on its own.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Even with TikTok, you ask, like you'll see videos and in the bottom it'll say, as you see, there's no hashtags. This was meant for you. And you're like, oh my gosh, it was meant for me. That's because it's listening, right? It's watching what you're watching. Like it's down to the point where if you're looking at your Instagram feed, that tracks your eye movements of which post you are looking at in what
Yo.
corner of the screen. So intellectually, the AI is like, oh, well, if the eyes are pointed at 45 degrees down, that means they're staring at this square. When you refresh, all of that content is now on your page and you didn't even have to click on it. Like
Wow.
that is called,
See?
it's called computer vision, right? AI, and it is here. And yeah, you gotta be aware of it, guys.
So, it's crazy because it wouldn't work for me, right? Because my eyes be closed most of the time, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
This is some wild stuff. It's so interesting because you also mentioned, you talking about the red house, brown house thing. Like, what are some, now for me, I'm going to go back to like the 90s, or like certain, maybe even the 80s, like Full House, Family Matters. Urkel probably lived in a certain color house, and the Winslows and all of that kind of stuff. I know I'm old, right? But because Griffin, our producer, he said I was a boomer because I sent them this video about Thanksgiving versus Christmas. It was hilarious, right? I thought it was a good video, but he said it was an old people video. So Tianna, break that, give me some more current examples of what you're talking about with this red house, brown house thing that I'm saying, because my stuff, I know we got some salespeople my age too. So talk about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I would just say like
any cartoon, something we all could, identify with. I don't know if the Ninja
SpongeBob,
Turtles
right?
had
Like
a certain color.
SpongeBob,
Okay,
he
yeah.
lives in a pineapple. Like imagine every episode, it was like he's in a banana, now he's in a peach. Like you'd be like, what is going on? That almost becomes the highlight of the video, right? It's like I don't even care what SpongeBob's getting into. I don't even care. I just want to see what kind of house he's in, right? And he's not selling houses, right? Same exact thing, right? If we're selling cars, we don't want to have now we're, in our house as a background. Now we're, in the office. Now we're the dealership, right? If we're selling cars, we want to make sure our background is the value, right? That is being sold. So you want to make sure that you have your logo in your background. If you go to my TikToks, right? All of my viral TikToks in the background, especially when I was selling cars, you see the big Buick GMC logo in the top left, or you see a car in the background. Like there's always where I'm wearing my dealership branded shirt that has my name tag and the dealership on it, right? And it went viral for people specifically looking at vehicles because of that reason, right?
That's fire. You're killing it. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the whole script situation, right? Is there certain scripts that you recommend that people, I mean, I'm sure that, we could, if you're good, I'll say you could kind of like freestyle wing a little bit, but you have an overall guide, an overall mindset of like, would you give them maybe the top 3 quote unquote reusable scripts that they could have prepared and ready to rock and roll? What would you say?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Number 1 is going to be like an intro, right? Just who you are, right? Obviously things that are going to be of value to the customer, right? Kind of like a, why buy from us message, a value package message. Like you don't want to just say, hey, LA, this is Tianna from Patriot Buick GMC, come buy a car, right? It's going to more sound like, hey, LA, this is Tianna calling from Patriot Buick GMC. Just wanted to introduce myself because our value customers have found with doing business with us, they get X amount up on their trade-in, they get X amount of free oil changes. Just wanted to reach out and introduce myself and our store, right? Providing
That's
value,
good. Yeah.
Providing more value. Another one is appointment confirmation. So this, and LA, you can go in on this, right? I mean, how much does it even increase, right? Your appointment show rates by just doing a quick, like 30-second video.
Do you want to talk about a ridiculous amount? It hasn't even really been fully discovered, right? Because people just respond so much better to video. Why? Because you got sight, you got sound, you got motion, you got emotion, right? So when you confirm appointments via video, people see you ahead of time, right? So they already feel like you're a superstar because they see you on their screen, right? On top of that, what happens is you want people to almost have a deja vu experience when they visit your dealership. You want them to feel like they've already been there. Why? Because they've seen it. Hey, park right here. You walk in these doors, you're going to see this person. Yeah. Like if you do that when they get to the dealership, one of the biggest fears, I talk about the top 2 fears that we're born with are the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling, right? But growing up, one of the biggest fears we develop is the fear of the unknown, right? And so when you can eliminate that fear, right? Do people feel like, oh, I already walked through these doors. Oh, I already been here. Okay, cool. They're more comfortable, right? And so that is like why I say appointment confirmation videos, including those specific topics and making a person feel like it's deja vu, really does it just does a tremendous amount for having people actually show up. They ain't scared no more.
You're right, LA. You took the words out of my mouth, right? I mean, we talked about this at, Digital Dealer, NADA, right? Just making a simple dealership tour video and having it as a evergreen video, right? Evergreen just means you can use it anytime, right? LA said reusable scripts, right? These could be evergreen scripts. Basically, you can use them for any kind of customer, right? Same thing when it comes to these appointment confirmations, right? But a dealership tour, a dealership walkthrough, because I always say, right, we walk into these doors every single day. We're here for like 8 to 12 hours, right? Of course we're comfortable, right? We're fine. We know where the coffee is. We know what extra sugar packets are, right? But now walk into like a courthouse, right? Or walk into like a police station. You're going to be like, where do I go? I'm nervous. I don't want to make the wrong move, right? But the police, the workers that work in the courthouse, right? The judges, they're like, oh, this is easy. Hey, Tom, they're just walking in.
Right.
Same exact thing. So LA, absolutely. You just want to make them feel more comfortable.
Gotcha. All right,
and that kind of leads us up to follow-up, right?
Ooh, that's another one. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah. So follow up. Like anytime you want to engage with your prospect, right? Seeing how you can make that into a piece of video content.
Ooh.
So of course we want you to make that phone call. We want you to, leave that voicemail, but following it up with a good video text and a video email instead of just a regular standard static. Oh my gosh, it's going to increase your utilization, or it's going to increase your engagement rate, I should say, for your prospects and for your customers.
Yeah. And you want to talk about the number one thing I like about follow-up is the be back process, right? Just as soon as someone leaves the dealership, your GM used to always be like, oh, call them 5 minutes after you leave. And I know for some people that feels a little bit weird, right? What am I calling them for? They just left. And then you got attitude and you got to get over yourself and all of that. Well, here's what I'd say. Let's send them a video, right? So it's kind of cool because you got to reset, right? Before you send your video, but send them a video. Talk about, hey, Tianna, this is LA Williams. It was such a pleasure hanging out with you for the last hour or so, or however long they were there, right? Hey, so when you were here, here's what we talked about this particular vehicle, and you said that you like this and you like that and you like this, right? But some of the things that you said were concerning, or some of the things you said you had to think about, right? I think about stuff, right? Were A, B, C, D, E. You said you wanted to share some of this with your wife, and so blah, 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 right? And so you can say that person's name, right? Because what you want them to do is really share that information with their spouse. You see what I'm saying? You want them to share that video. You want them to be looking at that thing, 2:00 in the morning, wake up, just because they're thinking about the car, right? And so having that as a video is something that they can just replay over and over and over. And then don't let you have a system where you can see them watching it and how many times they watch it and all that. I'm telling you, it changes the game completely. So anything you want to kind of add on that whole be back situation or something like that, T?
No, I think you pretty much covered it, but
Okay.
the number one thing is that people just have to start doing it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is like we can say, here's the scripts, here's the lighting, here's what, but you guys have to just start doing it. And I guarantee, right, you might be scared, and we're going to get into exact like videos, how to execute on them. But my first video that I just went out to the dealership, right, on the lot, it was a 30-second video. LA, it took me 172 takes of a 30-second intro video. And guess what? The second time I went out, it was like 60 takes. The third time I went out, it was like 20 takes. And by the fourth time, I was like, you know what, LA, if I mess up, I'm human, right?
Yeah,
We're in
absolutely.
the people business, right? I don't
Yeah.
have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I got out of my head. I started doing it. And that's basically what I want you guys to start doing. But let's get into some exact
Well,
video
here,
strategies.
before we do that, I just want to kind of do a quick little recap, right? So the bottom line of what we're saying is that if your lighting is bad, your background is messy, and your camera is smudged, or any of those three things going on, right? Then you lose credibility instantly, right? This is branding. Every video is a commercial for you. And so speaking of commercials, right? I want to go to we're going to take a quick little break. Let our sponsor share something. And when we come back, then we're going to get into what you call it to the exact strategies. All right, y'all. We'll be right back, y'all. Y'all know what this is, the Millionaire. Hey, wait, before we go, hold up, Griff. Before we go, here's what I want y'all to do. I definitely want you to listen to what the sponsors have to say, but pause it, right? Shoot a video between now and the time that we start speaking to you again. I don't care what it is. Just shoot a video. Get in the motion. Put something in play, right? I don't even care if you use it or not. Just shoot a daggum video. And then we're gonna watch it and analyze it when we get back. No, we're not. We playing. All right, y'all. Y'all know it's the podcast. We'll be right back.
This has been the most in-depth training I've had in my lot of years in the car business.
We went from 60 cars to 156 cars a month in 3 months.
NAMAD, the entire Toyota Chicago region, as well as the top automotive groups like Koons, Lithia, and Norm Reeves have all used Bradley On Demand to train their team.
They're the most comprehensive training company I've seen, and they by far have the best support system.
Doing 50 cars a month, topped out at 80. I can tell you that the Bradley On Demand training will get you to the next level.
And guess what? The world's #1 car salesman, Cody Carter, shares his exclusive strategies right here. You want his secrets? You gotta have Bradley On Demand. If you're still not enrolled in Bradley On Demand, you're missing out on the best virtual automotive training in the world. Enroll now or contact us for a free test drive of the platform today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. I am L.A. Williams. She is Tianna Mick, a.k.a. T Got Your Keys, the queen of branding. And we said we were going to give some exact strategies. So here's the thing. A lot of dealerships send boring text messages and emails to fresh prospects, right? But what top performers do is they send a video, right? So I want to talk about this real quick. What would you say a perfect new prospect video includes? What would you say?
I am going to say it's going to have these 5 things, right? And it has to include these 5 things. And if it doesn't, if you're like, well, I got 4, it's not a perfect new lead video. Okay. It's not. So the number 1 is going to be, it has to be at least like 30 seconds to a minute long, right? Nothing too insane, nothing too crazy, right? We don't want them to already spend their time currency on their phone on the video, right? And then they're like, well, I just saw LA for 10 minutes. Now you're telling me I gotta go to the dealership and see him for another hour? No, right? So 30 seconds to a minute. That is the first one. Number 2, you're gonna want to use the customer's name, right? This is no surprise, right? No surprise. Everybody's favorite word, right? Everybody's favorite word. LA, you mentioned, we're only born with 2 fears. Well, we're born with one favorite word, and it is our names, right? It is our name. So making sure you say the customer's name is super important. And not even just in the video, right? Anytime you're talking to somebody, right, especially a prospect, working their name into the conversation is just going to increase how much they like you. It sounds weird, but the more you say their name, it's like we're already friends, right? If I'm like, hey LA, what's going on LA? And then you come in and I'm like, hey LA, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. But if I was like, hey guy.
There are times when I'll go somewhere and people say my name, because y'all know I can't see, right? So I go a lot of places and people be like, oh, hey. And then based on what they say, Dub, hey LA, hey Alex, hey Lil Les, right? Depending on what the name they use, I know where they know me from. So sometimes I'll go into a store and they'll be like, oh, hey LA. And I'll be thinking the person know me, like you go to a hotel or something like that, but it's because they've done the research. They know, I don't know, my card or my wife, booked it and she laid it out there. I'm like, goodness gracious, it does feel totally different. So you're absolutely right on that. Using people's name, because for real, to every human being, they are the most important human being on the face of the planet. So your job is to make them feel that way, right? They already feel it, right? But now they need to feel that coming from you. So that's fire. I like that.
Exactly, right? You got to get them to like you, trust you, and then buy from you, right? So if we can't even get them to like us, oh my gosh, it's like an uphill battle. So yes, using the customer's name. Now, obviously, the third one is mentioning the vehicle of interest, right?
Mhm.
Let's not forget who the superstar is. Yes, it's the customer, but number 2, it is the vehicle. Well, I should say it's not the superstar, but it is the value point, right? It is the reason why the customer is reaching out to you. So for that reason, you want to make sure you mention the vehicle of interest, right? And just in case they forget, right? What if they send in 5 different leads on 20, on 20 different vehicles, and you want to make sure you're talking about the right one, right? So making sure that we also have that is super important.
Love it.
Now, number 4 is what I mentioned kind of earlier before that commercial break, right? Is explaining your value
package proposition.
Yes, exactly, LA. And I feel like a lot of the times we don't really know what a value package proposition is, right? Can you explain really briefly, like what in a brief sense is a value package proposition?
No, they can go back to the other podcast where we talk about value package. Y'all like, no, I will. Just for it's basically why buy, right? What is different and better about you, and why should someone do business with you over anywhere else, right? I tell folks all the time, I've been married for 8 years now, right? And listen, my wife, I had to show her my value package. I had to say, girl, I'm bringing something to the table, right? She had to show me hers, right? It was that's how we made a decision that's who we were going to be with. I know it had something to do with love and all that good stuff, but come on, y'all, like. We got to bring something to the table. And so I think that is extremely important, especially in a business relationship.
Precisely. No, I mean, you need to provide your value. I mean, if we're asking them, right, to spend their time and their money, I mean, especially in today's market, right, this might be the biggest purchase anyone has ever made in their lifetime so far, right?
Telling
The
the truth.
biggest. So if you're not providing value and showing why they need to be purchasing with you and why they need to be purchasing at your dealership and this vehicle specifically, then it's kind of pointless, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's talk about one other thing I would say is this is a marketing thing, right? And I know for a long time, most people have never been exposed to something like this. It's called a CTA. Does anybody know what a CTA stands for? I know for a long time I didn't, right? And so if you're not knowing what it stands for, you're like me, okay? It stands for call to action. What? Yes, you got to have at least one, and really it should be one call to action, not at least. It should be one call to action at the end of every email, every text message, every video. Tell people what to do. They want to be told what to do, right? So can you break down a very simple call to action, maybe something that you would use, Tianna?
Yeah, you took my 5th one, but that's okay.
Oh.
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page, right? Exactly. A CTA is a call to action, which very simply, like you said, right? Tell them what to do, right? What time works today or tomorrow? Text or call me back, right? Tell them. It's never, hey, LA, I just wanted to send you this video. Okay, bye. Right? It's always, what's the next step? And the next step should always, and correct me if I'm wrong, LA, right? Escalate to either a phone call conversation or an in-store visit. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely on it, right? That is key. 100% of what has to happen, right? And see, the things that we're talking about, I love when you mentioned the value package, right? Because that and video in and of itself is how you stand out in a sea of sameness. I mean, that's literally what happens out here with all of these different car dealerships, with different car salesmen and BDC reps and internet reps and GMs and all that different kind of stuff. Like, you got to stand out, right? And a video builds trust faster than any paragraph ever would, right? We talk about the science of communication, right? Just 7% of communication is texting the words that we use, right? So they can't hear your heart over a text message. They just can't. I know you want to use your little emojis, right? I get it, right? But it's still not the same as hearing someone, right? Just imagine if y'all was just reading the podcast. I mean, and listen, even, you know what's wild? Even like, I talk about blind people, even deaf people like listening to music and listening to podcasts because there's a vibration that's going on along with it, right? They could read the show notes, but they can't listen. You know how LA be silly, you know what I'm saying? Playing with his voice and all kind of stuff like that, right? They want to enjoy all of that, right? And so we want to escalate it to that. And then, so what? 38% of communication is tone and inflection. It's not what you say, it's how you say what you say. But what we're talking about today, 55% of communication being visual perception. I should say visual perception and body language, right? And here's the bottom line. Listen, you all are listeners of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast that is co-hosted by a blind guy, right? So I can't even see the doggone video, but I'm telling you to use video. Y'all should use video just for the simple fact that I can't see it, okay? Like, go out and maximize, like, LA can't see the video, so I got to make sure I do an extra good job because he's not even going to be able to see this job. I'm going to make this job top notch. Now, you know I got to make it about me.
No, LA, you're killing it right now. I mean, I think video, if we were to, in a simple bow, right, wrap it up, video is vital and it provides value, right?
Yeah. 100%. Man, I don't want to put a bow on it. I want to talk some more, man. Like, I feel like we're going to have to put a 2 on this because we ain't even really get to talk about appointment confirmations, reducing no-shows, you know, like how people lose money off of that kind of stuff. We ain't really get to talk about that stuff. There's so many different topics that we need to cover.
Social media, right?
Different, my goodness. I know they want to know.
Different evergreen pipeline videos you need to have. I mean, we definitely need to have a part 2, right?
All right. We're going to do that. All right. Well, here's the thing. If y'all like this podcast, right? What do they got to do? They got to have to like hit us, like make sure I know y'all part of the Millionaire Car Salesman like Facebook group, right? So if y'all like this podcast and you want the rest of the information that we have for you, then what they got to do, T?
They got to reach out to us, right? I mean, we suggest, right? That you just
all right, listen, I got an idea. You got to post a video of you listening to this podcast, all right? Post a video in the Millionaire Car Salesman group of you listening to the podcast. Maybe it was your favorite little section. You know, you could put a little comment about what I said or what Tianna said, but I think that they should post a video of themselves in the Millionaire Car Salesman Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group, listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. And if you wanted to put a certain hashtag or something like that, then they could do that, T. What would you say?
You know what, LA? I think you're completely right. I think they need to do hashtag use video, right?
Woo!
If you just hashtag use video, make that video of you listening to the podcast, explain, right? We gave you what to say, right? We said the 5 things that your video needs to have.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go see.
Yeah. You can put an example of the video that you're using, like something, right? Listen, show us that this podcast provided you value, right? And if you do that, then we'll go ahead and do a part 2. But if y'all don't, look, we could talk about something else. I'll get Sean back on here to talk about whatever he like to talk about, like, you know, stuff.
Jiu-jitsu.
Right. You can have him on here putting chokeholds on folks and all that old kind of stuff.
If that's what they want, but let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I always say you are the average of the 5 people who you spend the most time with, and you've just been spending time with the queen of branding herself, Miss Tianna Mick, aka T Got Your Keys, and the blind master, L.A. Williams, host of the Vision Banquet, y'all. You got to go to visionbanquet.com and check out what I got going on, because I'm telling y'all, I got some branches of what I'm doing here, not only in the automotive industry, but in just business period, helping folks to succeed. I'm talking about literally putting money in folks' pockets. I'm doing some phenomenal stuff, so y'all better come check it out, visionbanquet.com. But yeah, it's your turn. Go out there and be a millionaire car salesman. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. If you liked it, you're gonna love Bradley On Demand. Bradley On Demand is the most advanced virtual training, tracking, testing, and certification platform. What does that mean? It's an online university. And if you like this information here, we have hundreds and hundreds of advanced videos, step by step, on how to help you sell more cars more often and more profitably, so sign up now.